Dude, that's all we should do is just sit here saying on and just pass it off. And then when Travis comes back, the recording is an hour of us just saying on.
Not even do a podcast, just actually record the entire thing like that.
Is guacamole a fruit salad?
What is the best milkshake for bringing boys to the yard?
Ostriches are dinosaurs.
Don't piss off old people. New game.
What do you mean it gives you Arby's mouth?
Artisanal muck duck balls.
I think they call that autofellatio.
I want to high five a shark.
Welcome to Bar Banter. Relax, have a drink with us as we debate the most controversial topics in the world today.
On today's podcast, we talk about... That's so good. It's so good.
It's for you, Travis.
I know exactly what that's from, too. That's so good. I was wanting one of those. For our listeners, Drew has the world's largest flask, and on it is a piece of paper with the words "on today's podcast." We talk about should you take the elevator if you are just going up or down one flight of stairs. We come up with the best horror/children's book combination. And lastly, what 3-item combo would get the cops called on you the fastest while checking out at a grocery store? But first, Andrew Mellis, what are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking this lovely tequila that Travis got me as a housewarming gift.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you for watching my horse.
She's sleeping on the bed right now.
Get ready for the best cuddles of your life.
Delicious. Ben, what are you drinking?
Went a little tequila with nothing in it. Went a little Hornitos.
That's a lot of tequila. I'm here for it. But Drew's glass is a little
I did
tequila.
a finger
Yours
of
is a
tequila.
lot
I mean,
of
I brought the
tequila.
bottle with me, so.
So I don't want to go back downstairs. So this is like 2 hours of tequila.
Okay. All right,
It had a big ice cube in it. You can see that it's gone because I poured this a while ago. But I've been sipping on it, kind of saving it because I've been working on these thoughts for a while. But yeah, Hornitos Repo. It's not bad.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Rick Madison, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Heyman ale this evening.
Hey, man.
So, hey, man.
Where's that from?
I think the actual brewery is Oconee Brewing, but like the guys from 92.9 The Game, they I don't know if they made it or however it was, but anyways, that's like their beer, and it's actually pretty good. So it's a little blonde ale. It's delicious.
Nice. Love little blonde ales.
We all know that Rick loves blondes.
I have a type. It's true.
Sure.
Have you ever had Left Nuts Lapland Blonde? Lapland Blonde is probably my favorite, except for maybe their brand ale, my favorite beer that they make.
They're
Is that here? I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah. It's Marietta, Drew, maybe?
Oh, okay.
a little bit further out. It's like west of not Helen.
Yeah, it's Georgia.
Yeah. It's they changed their name though. They're Liquid Nation Brewing now, not Left Nut.
Oh.
I don't know why. I think they just weren't
More
people
PC.
weren't getting behind the nuts as you should do. Gotta get behind them.
Speaking of nuts, that'd be a good lead-in for the.
What about nuts, Ben?
So,
what about them?
that lead in.
Travis, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Smooth Ambler Contradiction Bourbon. I picked it because it's got an elephant on it.
Yeah.
And it was bottled by James. So thank you, James.
Oh, James is such a nice guy.
Shout out to James.
Big fan of James.
Yeah.
Guys, should you take the elevator if you're only going up or down one flight of stairs? Who has thoughts?
What? No. It's a Georgia driver's license. I know I'm in Florida. You can't kick me out of this bar. Yes, I know guys, I'm getting kicked out. You guys go on with podcasts without me for a little bit. I'll be back.
I mean, I'll go. Honestly, like as easy as this was for me to say, like my answer is no, you shouldn't use an elevator if you just got to go up one flight, barring like having stuff you got to carry with you, that kind of thing. I still do it. Like if I go in and I just got to go up one floor and I can't easily find the stairs, I'll take the elevator. Like to me, it's the correct answer. The answer that everybody thinks that they should pick is no, you should use the stairs. But and it's not even more convenient. Like waiting on an elevator can take as much time as going up the stairs a lot of times, depending on how tall the building is. Yeah, I think I would stick with no, just because I know in my heart it's better for me to take the stairs. But at the end of the day, if I walk into a building lobby, and the elevators are right there, probably taking those no matter what.
Yeah, I like it because if the question is should you, I mean, right, should you? Probably not. But am I? Yeah, if I'm not going to hunt around for some stairs just so I can say I took the stairs instead of an elevator that's right here.
I will say before we get to you, Ben, the only place where I tend to take the stairs more than any others is like a parking deck, because for some reason
I don't trust those.
I don't trust
a parking deck elevator.
I never in my. They're always janky. They always smell like piss. There's like half of them are out of order. And the elevator I least want to be stuck in is that one. If I'm gonna get stuck in an elevator, it's gonna be a nice swanky hotel or an office building or that kind of thing. I do not want to be stuck in a parking deck elevator.
Right. Oh, especially even if it's working and it's at night. I don't want the door to open and me be in the parking deck elevator. I want to be able to move around on the staircase if like a homeless guy or somebody trying to kill me is there. Yeah. Much more
or some Japanese lady starts crawling up the stairs. There's reasons.
Creepy. I'm gonna agree with both of you on this elevator thing though. Definitely yes. But while I appreciate the fact that yes, we feel like we're supposed to take the stairs, at the end of the day, it's a small little bit of physical health to take a one flight stair. I'm actually going to say that it's probably better for your mental health to take a one flight elevator, especially to use the point you guys made, if the staircase is not easily marked. Like, okay, if the staircase is right next to the elevator, then you've got kind of a decision that you're having to make. But yeah, I mean, if I got to go down the hallway, I mean, elevators are put in place to be convenient. Staircases generally are not. They're usually in the far corner or down 3 hallways or whatever it is. The elevators are usually right inside the front door. So for my mental health, I'm not going to run around trying to make sure I can find the staircase. I'm just going to take the elevator because it's right there. And I'm going to be okay with it.
Indeed.
Travis, what do you think? Oh, okay. No. This is Travis had to step out for a second. He had to bake us some cupcakes. Any more thoughts on elevators, guys?
No, not really.
No.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, elevators really help, kids get up and down instead of staircases.
I like that we put Ben in charge of segues.
I'm ballparking, man.
Ben's trying to force it.
But so does Travis. I'm trying to force.
No lube.
I'm trying to force my inner Travis forcing. Yeah.
Well, Travis doesn't try and force it. He
naturally
willingly accepts and hugs the bad segue and embraces it.
Ben, your segues are horrible.
Okay.
So for the next topic,
let's all stare at him.
I introduced the first topic.
This one, I struggled with this one because I feel like there's a lot of answers to it.
Yes.
And some of them already exist too. Like if you go back and read like Hans Christian Andersen or Brothers Grimm or like the OG fairy tales before Disney got their hands on them, they're terrifying. And so I feel like they all almost kind of exist already. So I tried to stay away from some of those. I think my favorite one that I came up with, though, is Fox and the Hound. But the animals are the people that are hunting the people. instead.
Okay.
I thought you were
Okay.
gonna go pet. I thought you were gonna go Pet Cemetery for a second there, but okay, I like it.
Yeah, like their big anthropomorphic fox and hound are trying to hunt down the people, and they're just trying to live out in the forest. It's not the
Nice.
best thing ever, and had a couple others, but I want to hear what you guys say before we get around to those.
So I have two. My first one is, yeah, I realize they've been done, and I think it's even been done like in the last couple of years. But as you're saying, Tree, like the original stories before they kind of became, children's ones are super scary. And so you don't really need to try that hard. Like Hansel and Gretel is creepy as hell. And
Mhm.
if you just made that like a horror movie like that, I don't think you got to force it. To me, that would be the creepy one because, everyone already is scared of the white van handing out candy. But also, the more creative one I came up with, I took some creative liberties, so bear with me. So, the book, Go the Fuck to Sleep, I think if you were to take that one and then you take the title and it's some sort of phantom shade that just shows up and says, Go the fuck to sleep, and then kills you with like a Reaper blade kind of thing. So it's like death coming around. And if you don't go to sleep, he just comes down, goes the fuck to sleep, and he puts you to sleep.
Mm,
That would be a scary movie.
I like that.
Nice.
Ben, what you got?
I like the Hansel and Gretel part to that. Did you guys see the remake movie with Jeremy Renner and Jim Arterton? Oh,
I did not.
Mm.
big fan of her. All right, so combining best horror movie with children's book combo. Like, I don't watch a lot of horror movies, so I had to dig back to like when I was watching horror movies, which was like high school, college, and I came up with a few. And this one would probably line up the best for me. Is I took Pinocchio, and then I took Child's Play. So for those of you who don't know what Child's Play is, that's Chucky.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, I got a doll, I got a puppet, I'm going to combine it. So I wrote a 3-sentence story.
Let's hear it.
The name of this horror movie / horror book, child's book, is The Real Boy. And it's Geppetto carving a puppet in hopes to make a real boy his son. But instead of the fairy hearing and creating a real boy, it's one of the devil's minions. And he creates Chucky as the real boy. And instead of this real boy nose growing every time he lies, he gets a real limb every time he kills until he becomes a real boy because he's killed so many times. Once he's a full boy, nothing can stop him. That's my horror movie children's book combo.
I like that premise.
Yeah, it kind of lined up for me. I tried to do like The Ring and like take like one of the romance things like Cinderella or Snow White or something, like, oh, wedding ring, the ring, and I couldn't come up with anything, but I liked the puppet scenario.
So kind of like in the greatest cinematic feature, Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, when the mummy comes back and starts sucking people's like skin off, and like he slowly reforms each kill, but that kind of thing, but he's getting specific limbs. Okay,
That's good imagery. I like that. That's great.
Yeah. I'd watch that. I'm not a big horror fan, but
I'm not either. But
I had my backup was
let's hear Drew.
Like a dark version of Peter Pan, which there's been some kind of dark versions of Peter Pan, but not like full on horror movie.
Right.
But like mix Peter Pan with Battle Royale or like middle school or high school about the
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies, where like Peter Pan goes and he's kind of like the archetypal like guy, but he goes and steals the kids and then makes them fight to the death against pirates and all of Neverland's.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So instead of like Lost Boys eating like imaginary food, they're like fighting to the death.
Yeah.
And eating and like becoming cannibals.
Just to like entertain Peter Pan, who's this immortal child.
Dude, that should have been your first. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know how that's much of a like you could probably make it it feels more Saw kind of thing, like like the
Mhm.
gore factor
yeah.
than horror.
I
Horror.
put it
But I'd watch
second
that.
because inherent. I think Peter Pan is kind of dark to begin with, so that's why I didn't choose it as my first one. Not that Fox the
yeah.
Hound isn't, but it's not like
Yeah.
Fox. Well, yeah, it makes it. Fox the Hound is about as cuddly and non-terrible as you can get. So
I like both the odds that you threw out there. I do like your Peter Pan one more than Fox and the Hound, I think, but also the Fox and the Hound one, I could get behind all three of those.
solid choices.
Guys, I snuck back in. We can finish the podcast now. I'm here.
Nice.
The bouncer didn't
I
see me.
forgot you had your passport in your suitcase.
No, I just snuck in.
Bouncer was distracted.
Yeah, I threw a bunch of change in the parking lot and he went and got it.
But really, the question is, if Peter Pan was shopping at Kroger, how would he
What?
be
What
arrested?
3 items would he take? It was
Terrible segue.
Yeah, well, you're not here to help there, Travos.
You're welcome.
He's been listening the whole time, guys.
I wish I
on.
could say I was.
Please tell me you're back for a few minutes.
Yes.
Today's episode is brought to you by Rocket Guitar Repair. Is your guitar beat up, dented, or is there dirt from the 70s still under the controls? Well, you're in luck. At Rocket Guitar Repair, Ray works on everything from acoustic and electric guitars to bass guitars, banjos, mandolins. If it has strings, Ray can fix it. With over 50 years playing, repairing, and building guitars, Rocket Guitar Repair can get your guitar repaired rocket quick. Call Rocket Guitar Repair at 678-400-3062 or visit rocketguitarrepair.com.
Guys, I want to know. I need to know. You're going to a grocery store. What 3 items will get the cops called on you the fastest? So obviously, like, all of these could either get the cops called on you or not, right? It could go either way. Some of these items on your lists might be common household items, and some people just look the other way. But just of our guesses of our combination, which one would be the fastest? I have really just 2, but if one of these doesn't work, I'll go to my backup. It's just a drain stopper and a toaster oven, or a pop-up toaster. Is a toaster something you can find at a grocery store?
I'll allow it.
Like,
I'm gonna need.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, you can pick it. I'm confused why that's gonna have someone call the police on you.
I think that he's committing suicide with a toaster in the fridge.
yes.
Or in
I went
bathtub?
suicide
Yes.
too. That's
Bathtub.
interesting.
What was the second item?
A drain
Toaster?
stopper and a toaster.
What is a drain stopper? Oh, like
It's
a plug,
Like a
Yes.
plastic thing.
like
drain
an actual
plug.
thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I challenge that one before the toaster, but
Okay, either one.
no,
I
but
have-
Oh, you can find those.
I will say
Yeah,
some
I'm
of
okay with
some of
that,
the
but-
nicer Krogers, for example, have like that whole aisle of like
Common
appliances
kitchen
and
things.
yeah. And it's not like a super Kroger or anything, but it's got like a whole
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
of
yeah.
like kitchen appliances. Yeah,
They do.
interesting, Travis. I'm curious
Okay.
about your other ones.
I wanted, yeah, I have other thoughts, but you guys go ahead, and if none of those are good, I'll maybe we'll dive into the little honorable mention bank.
I'll jump out there just because you clearly went suicide. I'm gonna do the same thing, and I have
Don't do
three.
the same.
I have 3 choices, and they are, one's suicide, one's arson, one's murder. So I kind of went like 3 different reasons the police would be called. But my suicide one was bath salts, red wine, and razors. All things that you can find at pretty much any grocery store, but you combine them together and it's very suspect. Like, why are you going to be drinking a ton of red wine and bath salts? And then,
Can I ask you a clarifying question real quick?
Yeah.
When you say those 3 items, do you mean if you've been are purchasing those 3 items or if anybody is purchasing those 3 items.
Well, I was trying to come up with a combination that would cause the cashier to like second guess. You know, if somebody's going through,
Because if Sarah is checking out with Katie, I don't think their immediate reaction is going to be suicide. It's going to be
but neither is going to be
what
a
candle
toaster
are you
and
listening to? I agree. I agree. I think
I'm
Travis
willing to bet
has
that
bad picks.
No, but I'm willing to bet that 99, if not 100% of our picks are subjective. But
just wait.
The idea is that they could lead. Which one's going to lead the cashier to the quickest? I need to call the police response out of all of them. So that was my.
I will say, like, to a little bit to Rick's point, but like, if a woman just had bath salts, red wine, and some razors, they might just be having a good time in the bathtub and shaving their legs.
Right.
But the odd thing is only those 3 items and nothing else.
Yeah, I think.
What else are you gonna get?
I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I'm just saying like that you could make the leap either way. You could make the leap of, oh yeah, they're gonna do something bad, or they're gonna just have a nice night by themselves. Whereas, yeah.
And I would say the same thing to yours. Maybe my kitchen sink was clogged, so I had to buy a new stopper, and then I can't make toast. So both of those could be part of the kitchen and have nothing to do with the bathtub.
I mean, no, I agree. I would not call the cops on Travis's items either, because I didn't even get to suicide and never would have gotten to suicide with those 2 items had Drew not said it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, I got to suicide.
Do you want to give your
Travis? But still,
do you want to give your other 2 or?
No. Let's do one at a time because the other segments were so quick. Let's take some time here. Rick or Drew, you got something?
Okay. Go, Drew.
I'll go with my middling dark one. So those like individual lunch bags you could get, not like the brown paper ones, but the ones that were like kind of different colors and whatever, like a lunch bag, but like it looks like a brown paper bag, but they're like different colors and that kind of thing. And then a giant mix bag of candy, like you get at Halloween, that had like the little sizes in them. And then replacement razor blades for those 2-sided razor, like shaving razors.
Okay.
I like that. And that's a good answer.
Just handing them out to kids.
I get that. Especially seasonal, right? Especially if that's around Halloween.
Seasonal.
That is Halloween, maybe a bit more of a red flag.
I will call yours seasonal. Yeah, because if you're an adult, if you're an adult buying candy and bags for your kids, and then you're buying razors for yourself, especially if you like facial hair. But seasonal, yours is very suspect, Drew. That's a good point, Rick.
I actually thought the opposite, that it was probably more suspect if he's doing it, I don't know, in spring. Like, why are you buying a gigantic bag of Halloween candy basically in April?
No, you're right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think combining the idea
put them in the eggs.
Tons of candy, bags, and razors all at the same time. When everyone thinks that you're going to be handing out that stuff, I actually do like the seasonal idea, Rick.
Well, I don't think October would be a bad thing. I'm just saying it could be also.
No, it could. I guess just it's like that's something you hear about, right? Like check your Halloween candy, right? So if it's Halloween, I think that's more around leading up to it, like instantly people could go to that. However. I like, as Travis said, just it's still an odd combo, even if not Halloween, but you could explain it away. It's like, we're stocking up on candy. And then, as you said, but no, I like it. That's good, Drew. I like those.
Well, I like that word you used, Rick, instant. And I think a lot of this is like, what's the instant interpretation of the cashier? What's going to instantly make them call the police? And I think that seasonal thing was like, oh crap, this guy's putting razor blades in his candy.
If you're the cashier for my Kroger next to me that always watches the self-checkout, he's not thinking anything because that guy's a bag of rocks. I wish him the best in life, but he is not the brightest crayon in the crayon box.
For all of these, I was assuming I had to check out with a person and not the self-checkout.
Yeah, either way,
where I was going.
All right.
Because you're right. Self-checkout people, I imagine The
They don't
dude
care.
from Family Guy where he's talking about movies, like the gas station attendant dude, where that Chris talks with.
Oh yeah.
That's who. Anytime I go to self checkout, I assume that's who's manning it.
Nice.
Call me back.
You know what?
But-
Speaking of self checkout, I got to throw this out there, and this was like 6 months ago. This was like, I don't know, October, November or something. But I was in a different part of Georgia, and I went through a Kroger self checkout, and I bought 3 bottles of wine. And the guy said, "Can I see your ID?" He didn't even fucking look at it. He just
No, it's just
They
checking
don't
the
type-
box.
didn't
Really
even
look
look
at
at
mine,
it.
though.
I was like, I mean,
Because
like,
they've got
and this
that
was
box where
before
they
my
can-
beard. Like, this was before my beard. So
Well, they've got the
So-
option to either type it in or just override.
right.
Oh, he
And-
typed in a completely
Fif-
random date.
Yeah,
Like, I'm, like,
50% of the
sitting-
time they just override it.
Yeah. I was both impressed and like, skittish.
All right, Rick. What's the what's so obvious?
Well,
What's the best
for-
take ever.
I'm not saying it's the best take. I'm saying so. For me, I went with a chair, duct tape, and bleach.
Mhm.
Is what I went. Those 3 items. They're selling chairs at the Kroger around the corner from me right now. And
Yeah.
at first, I originally was going to say if anybody bought anything from
Patio
the
chairs,
like
yeah.
the seasonal aisle, that's an instant red flag to me because I haven't seen anybody buy anything from there ever personally. But
Expired candy
that too.
or seasonal candy the day after. Yeah.
I think I have a hard time. I think with this question, I have a hard time. And granted, Rick, all 3 of your things you can find in a lot of grocery stores, no doubt there. But not having at least one item that is edible, like I'm having a hard time with that.
No, I mean, I think most
Why?
Or related to food, like at least like Travis
Why?
had the toaster. It's
I
related
think that's
to-
a little more suspicious. If I go to the grocery store and I don't
Yeah.
get anything edible,
That's a good point. That's good. That's a great point.
Yeah, because when y'all were texting this back and forth, like, because at first I was thinking like, okay, what are the ingredients to napalm, or like people talk about like homemade bombs and stuff, and I was thinking about going that route, but like, if I were the cashier and I didn't like Google that, I
wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. I'd be like, okay, cool. You want some pipe cleaner and whatever. So I was trying to think of like, if I were the cashier, what would be the most alerting thing? And so honestly, I think Drew's is a good one. So if I have to vote, I'm putting my vote in Drew's camp.
I just in Rick, I thought about I hadn't thought of the chair, but the duct tape, bleach plus maybe like rubbing alcohol, which may get you chloroform.
Sure.
That kind of combination. And I think, I don't know this for sure, but I would like, I hope, I don't know, cashiers talk to me, and find me on Twitter, whatever. Do you go through some sort of a general training program if someone's buying bleach
Yeah.
and other household cleaners? Maybe they actually have some sort of
Maybe.
they probably don't.
Yeah.
I wish they would. That probably would be like a decent thing to just, but people actually need to clean. So
I know if we're
Right.
talking like actually realistically, I know there's a few items like cough syrup,
Mhm.
which you can use to like make meth.
Yeah.
And there's certain very not like non-alcoholic items that I know run a red flag for them if you try and buy too much. Or
Right. Like I don't know if it's ibuprofen, but it's something like that. One of those medicines too that's random.
Ibuprofen, things like
Sudafed.
baking soda when they're mixed with certain things. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I get that. Okay, so Rick, I'm going to play off yours a little bit because I did have like a backup that didn't have any food. Okay, but mine was geared. Yours is obviously geared towards murder. I'm guessing.
I'm chopping somebody up in the basement.
Clearly, okay.
I was gonna try and get away with buying the meat slicer at the deli because I got a pub sub today, and I thought like maybe I could buy that if it's
Yeah.
going out of style.
They
Or
have
get rid of it.
mandolins. They have mandolins sometimes. Just
But-
one
Yeah,
slice
but
at a
we
time.
can't buy them though. Yeah, you can't buy them.
No,
Right.
they have mandolins that you can buy. In
Oh, do
the,
they?
Like the
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, at
Oh,
the grocery
a
store, where you can
big
buy a
meat
toaster.
slicer,
Yeah,
but the
Yeah, there's a whole aisle of like pots and pans and stuff.
It-
It might,
Yeah.
Some of them, the
Right.
same amount that you can buy a chair at. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I said it's not a
50-50.
hardware store. You can't get a shovel, but mandolin cookingware
Right.
makes sense.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with something that you can probably find in 95% and none of them are food items, and that is matches and
Mhm.
lighter fluid because
Okay.
of grilling. But the
Yep.
third thing is in the magazine aisle, and you're buying a magazine on home improvement. So you're buying matches, lighter fluid, and a magazine that clearly shows different things about house, buildings, homes, whatever it is. I mean, those are the only three things you're buying.
For arson.
Clearly arson.
I like it.
I thought about going that route too because I did several laps around Publix today. That was my research.
I'm so proud of you.
I was just walking around looking at stuff, and I thought about going that route. So I was thinking like charcoal, lighter fluid, something like that. But I kept thinking like one, at least especially now that I live in Covington, I'm like, okay, this just looks like the start of a bonfire. Like I've seen 30 people in boots walk by and buy this exact thing. I mean, honestly, that they had a fourth item, Bud Light, which would kind of rule it out. But I almost went that route, Ben, and I like it. I just like the third item was what was throwing me off. I guess I didn't think about going Travis's route and only picking two to where, like if you have lighter fluid and matches or whatever, like to me, that doesn't scream red flag.
Right. You have to tie it to something.
It's the third thing. So I like that what you tried to go with there.
Well, my other ones real quick were, I went a similar route to Drew and I said the bleach, the rubbing alcohol to make chloroform, and then like a kid's coloring book, something that's obviously child.
Ooh,
okay. Interesting.
Like
none of us went toy aisle. That's
I was like, let's make it specifically not candy. And then this might just be a good time. I don't know, but I went pineapple, habanero peppers, and petroleum jelly.
Yeah, that might just be a good time.
It might just be a good time. It was teetering between good time and police, and I was like, ugh.
I mean, oftentimes there's a fine line between good time and police.
But so I thought I'd go a little different and say, toaster and drain stopper, just to be a little outside the box. But I'm okay with Drew's candy and.
I'll give my backups really quick too. So my fun one, like Travis, for the good time, at the deli aisle before you get it sliced, how they have the giant
bricks
of them. Yeah, so like a whole bologna, an entire unsliced bologna.
Yes.
The biggest jar of coconut oil that you can find there, which depending on where you go, they have big jars,
big ass jars.
And zip ties. Because you can find those.
Yes, you can. I think if I'm trying to be objective here, Rick's probably gets the cops called the quickest with duct tape, bleach, and a chair. Like I like Drew's a lot. I think that's a lot more. That's a lot darker, and that's a lot. It takes a little bit more thought to get there.
Process. Rick went simple and simple.
Yeah.
Rick's is the easiest to put together. Yes, I'm agreeing with you.
And not even saying anything about the cashiers. They're literally they are not there for threat assessment or risk assessment.
Correct.
Right.
Although at my Publix after 5 o'clock, there's always an armed, uniformed officer.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as you walk in the store.
Interesting.
Dude, the Publix manager at mine, and I'm in like North Canton. Dude, the guy's like 280 pounds. Like he could freaking wrestle me to the ground. He's a massive guy.
Like strong 280 or like flabby 280?
I'm being generous.
Yeah,
50-50.
Okay.
But he's a big guy.
No, yeah. I'm not saying that's he could still I mean he
doesn't do anything when I see him there. He's just kind of standing.
One of the managers at my Kroger, her name's Erin.
Oh, that's nice.
She's very pretty. Drew,
Hi, Erin.
You should go to that Kroger.
I was at that Kroger today. Travis.
Yep.
Never seen that many yarmulkes in one place outside of a synagogue in my life.
Most people call it the kosher Kroger. It's got the biggest kosher section
incredible.
In a Kroger in Georgia.
It was well stocked.
Nice.
I was impressed.
Huh? I just got back and it's already last call. Guys, it's time for last call. We're gonna go Rick, Drew, and then Ben.
Ooh, that just happened to be the correct order.
Me too.
Whoa. Whoa. You ready? Cool. Richard, I already know the answer to this one, but we're just going to say it anyway because these were generated by ChatGPT. Thanks, homie AI. Would you rather have a pet unicorn that farts glitter or a pet dragon that sneezes fire? Doesn't breathe fire on command. He sneezes fire.
I would like the farting glitter, please.
Drew.
Dragon.
Ben.
I think I'd like to brag about the dragon. So
Fair enough. Rick, would you rather have a house made entirely of chocolate or a car that runs on cheese?
Car that runs on cheese.
Drew.
A house of chocolate. I hate wasting cheese like that.
Ben.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with cheese. I don't want my house to melt.
Fair enough. Rick, would you rather have a time machine that can only go back 10 minutes or a teleportation device that only works in public restrooms?
I want the teleportation device.
And I'm gonna take that, by the way, as you can only teleport from one restroom to another.
I'm also okay with that.
Okay,
I want the teleporting restrooms.
What was the first one again, Travis?
A time machine that only goes back 10 minutes.
Oh, give me the time machine.
Ben?
I'm gonna teleport from a QT in Georgia to a QT in Italy. So yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah,
that's fine. Rick, would you rather have the power to talk to animals, but they can only speak in Shakespearean language, or have the power to read people's minds, but only when they're thinking about pizza toppings?
I would like the animals and Shakespearean languages.
I think we had one like this, but
we did. It had the Shakespearean animals and something else, but it wasn't
with some with plants and
yeah.
Oh yeah, the plants, but they were screaming or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High pitched voice. That's what it was.
Yeah, give me the Shakespearean animals. That's hilarious to me.
Agreed.
Although I don't know how my world would change if I knew how often people were thinking about pizza.
That is true.
Like if I'm walking by my boss down the hallway, and then all of a sudden it's like bacon, and I was like, "Hey,
you know what? I bet you
Hey,
all
boss, you
four.
want to get pizza today?
I bet you all four of us have different
How does he
favorite
know?
pizza toppings. Like that. That would be interesting.
Rick, would you rather be able to breathe underwater, only in a kiddie pool, or be able to fly, but only while wearing a tutu?
Flying into tutu, please.
Yeah, Drew.
Yeah, Honda P tutu.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the tutu.
Rick, would you rather have the ability to turn invisible, but only for 3 seconds at a time, or the power to transform into a chicken once a day?
Give me the invisible.
Okay, 3 seconds invisible. Drew?
Yeah, 3 seconds invisible.
Ben?
Yeah, I'll go with invisible 3 seconds.
Okay.
As much fun as being a dinosaur would be.
Yeah, fair enough. I see what you did there.
Thanks.
Rick, would you rather have a third arm that can only be used to tickle yourself, or a third leg that makes you walk in circles?
Who said it doesn't already have the first one? Ayo.
Hey.
It just can't reach any tickler spots.
I guess the third arm.
Okay. Drew?
Yeah, third arm,
Ben?
I think.
These are both terrible.
Yeah.
Arm?
Okay, fair enough. Rick, would you rather have the ability to speak any language fluently, but only when you're asleep, or have the power to turn any food into pizza, but only for 5 minutes?
The second one.
Okay, so 5 minutes worth of pizza. Drew?
Yeah, 5 minutes of pizza.
Pizza.
Okay.
I can eat pizza in 5 minutes.
Does that mean the pizza turns back to broccoli after I've eaten it?
Yes.
Yeah. Give me. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually
when I'm
great.
That's
enjoying
great.
it-
That's an amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll have the most balanced diet.
I'll take it over all the powers
That's
we've
prob-
listed.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
right.
great superpower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much fiber yesterday eating that pizza.
Rick,
I didn't know this was an option. I want to go back and change my previous answer to people thinking about pizza toppings now, so I can be inspired.
have a different pizza every day.
Kale.
Rick, this one should be relatively simple. But would you rather live in a world without gravity or in a world without rainbows?
World without rainbows.
Drew.
Gravity, give me the chaos.
I like it.
Ben.
I mean, I don't really care for either. So I guess gravity. I want to fly.
That means nothing. Like everything floats, including.
Great. That sounds so much fun.
We'll figure it out.
You right?
Rick, would you rather have a nose that glows like Rudolph's, or ears that grow every time you lie?
The nose that glows.
Drew,
Do you even know this?
Ben.
Can my Dumbo ears make me fly?
And I mean, in zero gravity, maybe.
All right. I'll go with the nose.
Stay on theme. And
Very enough. Well, guys, that was last call. Any Ben, you were taking notes. Which one stuck out?
Not
You
a
love-
lot. We agreed on a lot of them. All right. So the pet unicorn that shit glitter, or the dragon that sneezed fire. Rick went shitting glitter.
farting glitter.
Farts.
Farting
Oh.
glitter.
Well, that's not as fun. But farting glitter, and then me and Drew went dragon fire.
Sneezes fire.
Yeah.
This is a full size dragon, Travis.
Sure. Yeah, it could be a full size, but just know that means if he gets a cold or he's got allergies, he might burn your house down.
I mean, take those away. If he sneezes once in a day, could burn your house down.
You're
Yeah,
right.
but
I just
if
meant,
if my unicorn eats like a piece of cheese, I'm vacuuming like 5 times a day.
no, it's only if, but maybe just don't have cheese.
Horses fart a lot.
Yeah, a lot. That's a lot of vacuuming.
Only if you want to.
And also keep the unicorn outside.
I would much
Never-
rather
The
have
dragon
my floors
outside.
Well, then
covered
you're just putting literally
Glitter.
plastic into the environment. You're fucking tree killer.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
terrible.
Yes. Yes, fuck those trees. Versus burning them down by a dragon. because- okay.
I'll keep them in the middle of the cul-de-sac. It'll be fine.
I want to talk about the time machine versus
Okay.
the
Let's.
teleportation. I
was tempted to do the time machine
Time machine.
because I can fix a
I like
lot of
both.
problems
I
that I
like
made
In 10 minutes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
If I think about, I have this problem of like running back through situations in my head so often of like,
Yep.
oh man, I could have played that so differently and had a much better outcome. You give me 10 minutes.
yeah, that's a lot.
Holy crap. But I do love to travel. And if I could, as much as I love flying, if I could just do that instantaneously, and I mean, just the fact that it's a bathroom doesn't really mean anything.
And,
Right.
and Ben, you brought up the QT as a public restroom. I believe it's technically a private restroom, right? Because
Why?
it is a.
Why?
It's an
It's a-
interesting take, but I'm here for it.
I don't and I don't know if that's actually a thing, but that is a privately owned business that in theory you really should be purchasing something in order to use the bathroom. It's not just like something you can go into.
There's nothing
Technically-
posted.
And
Yeah,
know,
either,
but
either way, it doesn't matter. So,
I'm just saying.
well,
I'm-
give me a public restroom
it's something at like a park, something that's or
or like a courthouse.
or
But
courthouse.
what-
Yeah, any
I mean,
government.
I think
building.
about all the national monuments around the world where they
Yeah.
have
I'm not saying it's
public
a.
bathrooms.
That's
or
even better. Those are all public. That
Rest
makes it
stops.
even better than a
First
QT.
off,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hold on. My point is that the places you go, while still could be cool, are a little bit more limited if we take out like gas station bathrooms, right?
But
You
then
can
I'm
still go to
there.
the National
I
Monument.
get what you're
you
saying.
can still go to Paris, like you can still get there, but
It
you
would
just
not
might
change
be
my answer.
no,
So they
and
just
that's
call an
fine.
Uber.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no, that's fine.
But
Yeah.
forget the restrooms. You're talking, but then if you talk about like the highway rest areas, those are all public and those are everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there.
Now, I will say one thing, and Drew, this is kind of playing off your point, is that going back 10 minutes to
I can
reverse,
fix a lot in 10 minutes.
you can fix a lot in 10 minutes. I totally get that. but
I would make the exact same
I would-
mistake.
I would throw out the argument that if I've got to make a trip, take a drive to accomplish something for work, for personal reasons, and it's 2 hours away, but I can do it instantaneously, then I'm not saving 10 minutes. I'm saving 2 hours to take
but
the
that's-
time to think through the process to whatever it is, because so many things are lost in travel. So many decisions, so much time is lost in travel because how long it takes. like whether it's work, whether it's personal, whether it's seeing family, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's an experience, you lose so much time in travel.
But you lose so much time in travel, but you also, here's where I'm going to get sentimental, you also gain moments in travel, and you can, if you could go back 10 minutes, even you guys talked about fixing things. If you wanted to relive something, if you did something incredible, or if you saw something incredible and you wanted to go relive that moment 10 minutes ago, you can do that. You can make it like a positive thing and not just like, oh, I got to fix something. It's I now have the ability to go see XYZ one more time before I can't go see it again.
But only
but yeah,
I don't love that, Travis, because you can only do it at that moment. Like you,
right.
You gotta
It's
recognize
essentially
it in
extending the moment. Like,
but I feel like
Yeah.
that makes it less special if I were to do that for, like, say, the same 10 minutes 50 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking
That
about
makes
you do
that-
it once, like,
But-
you're like, oh,
But
that
that's
was
the thing
really
I love
cool.
about moments that ended up really cool in my life is I do have that memory of it. Like, that
Mhm.
was a
It
absolutely
wasn't
once
planned.
in a lifetime thing. And some of them I didn't realize until later.
Yeah, and that's
That
I'm
was
just saying but
something I was never
my
never
point
gonna experience again.
my point was you guys limited it to fixing things, right? I'm just saying, in addition, you can also go
yeah, you
relive
could.
things. Yeah,
But the only reason I would pick it would be for fixes, not to extend a
No.
moment I like by 10 minutes. Is
Yeah.
the only,
I
is where
would-
my decision came from.
I would give Travis a little bit on that, of like an instant replay type thing. Like,
Sure.
say at some point in my life, I get to go to see the Super Bowl
Yeah, sure.
for my team and they end up winning. And then, 5
Yeah.
minutes after they win, go back and replay the last 5 minutes of that game.
No, right. Yeah.
Plus the
Once or
celebration
twice.
once or twice. Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Right. Like, obviously, if I had said gift, I would use it for more than the reason I mentioned. But in our 30 seconds to pick this or that, the main
How
reason
dare you?
would be to use it for X.
How dare
and
you not have a
therefore,
completely well thought out
it doesn't
decision
outweigh
within-
my travel time, like Ben was saying. So
That's fair.
that
Moving on, because we got to wrap this up. The one thing I was confused about, you guys all picked, I think you guys all picked invisible for 3 seconds versus
Yes.
turning into a chicken. I'm not
We
saying
did.
there's any real value in turning into a chicken, right? There's very few things you can do.
I think that's what you are saying.
No,
Just
but I'm
kidding.
saying that there's
I feel
more
like that's what I'm
value,
saying.
even with the had limited value of turning into a chicken. There's more value of turning into a chicken than being invisible for 3 seconds.
I disagree.
I don't know what you can accomplish in 3 seconds.
Because if I get enough people drunk at the bar and I can just say I can turn invisible for any period of time, I'm walking away with some dough because no one thinks I can do it. And
I didn't say I can
I'm-
turn into a chicken and do
Instant
the exact
pain.
You're
same
right.
thing.
You're right. You could, but
I would
that's
panty
a-
dropper for the invisible 3 seconds. I don't know if I'm gonna get any panty drops if I turn into a chicken.
No one's gonna panty drop just because you turned invisible.
I disagree 100%.
No, maybe like
David
once.
Blaine gets laid. I'm just saying.
I think it's more for the money than his quote tricks.
I've never
But
been invisible
but-
or turned into a chicken.
Yeah, but he's probably
Yeah.
done things more relatable to invisible
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
over.
and
Now
I mean,
I
yeah,
wanna
you're
see it.
right. I just yeah. I guess again in the split, like how long am I a chicken, and then how many times can I turn invisible for 3 seconds? I'm assuming like there's a recharge somehow,
fair.
and I can turn invisible
Mhm.
again, like for 3 seconds here, whatever my
I-
recharge time is. Turn.
I'm
in
with
3
Rick
seconds
on this,
again.
that the 3 seconds is not a long time, but it could be a significant amount of time. Like if you were to plan it out,
Right.
if we're going Ocean's 11 on this, and I
Right.
got 3 seconds, you could use that to your advantage. Chicken, outside of fame and notoriety from being the guy who can turn into a chicken, all I'm doing is essentially putting myself lower on the food chain for a certain amount of time. Like
Well,
there's nothing I can accomplish as a
Mm-hmm.
chicken, even if I keep my same intelligence.
Right.
Good opportunity to get murdered as a chicken as
Exactly.
opposed to
Or
being
eaten.
invisible.
Now, if I could turn into a rooster, then that might be a different question.
Then you would just be annoying.
You just be a
Fucking
cock.
roosters are so fucking.
Then they
Nice-
just put you in a
nice, Travis.
cockfights, and
Yeah.
But I like to think I would be able to win as having a personal brain and a rooster.
Mm.
Personal brain, human brain. Yeah,
human
that's-
level intelligence.
Yeah, you maintain, and obviously it was a split second decision, but like I would like to think I maintain my intelligence while
Right.
it's the chicken. Yeah,
right. Which would be dope.
Well, guys, that was an interesting podcast. I was here for the whole thing, I promise.
Mhm.
If you guys are listening, you should follow us on the Twitter, and you should follow us on the Instagram and the YouTube. And also, I think I mentioned this in the last episode I recorded that I put out. Big things might be happening. Some changes might be happening. Good things, all good things, and you should be very excited for all of these things. So you should stay tuned or don't, because we don't care. And this is our podcast, and you're just along for the ride. Okay, bye.